Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Katza and I do spirit-led card readings, guided messages, whatever seems to be coming through in the moment is what I do. I am getting over a little bit of an illness right now, so please bear with me and my voice and me drinking some herbal tea as well. And without further ado, we are just going to get into it. As per usual, I always say a prayer at the start of my readings. Okay, where do you want me to start? Not being very clear. Also, my desk is a complete mess, which I'm sure is not helping out the situation at the moment. Where do you want me? Oracle. This one. Right. This is a new Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. It's called the Inner Temple Oracle. I think I've only done maybe one reading with this at the moment. This is an amazing. I love Rebecca Campbell. Okay. Oh. Okay, they're telling me to do this really differently. I normally don't do readings like this. Like I normally don't spread my deck like this. And then 3 cards. 1, 2. They're saying it's underneath. It's underneath the one I want. So I'm trying to pull out the ones underneath. Oh, this one. Okay. And the bottom. Okay. Whichever one the bottom is going to be. Okay. The masks we wear is on the bottom. And then we've got the machine, separation, and chamber of forgiveness. And the masks we wear, which was on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this has been actually something that I've been considering and thinking about quite a bit right out of the gate. We've got separation, the machine, chamber of forgiveness, and the mask that we wear. There's a huge message here of being mindful of where, okay, there's a few things actually they're showing me. Where are you putting your energy? What's important to you? What is it that you're doing? Okay, we have separation coming up, and largely this comes up when there is obviously a separation, but the separation isn't always from other people. The separation could also be from ourselves. The separation could also be, I'm also noticing, sorry, I just got distracted because I'm looking into the camcorder here. And for some reason, my camcorder is not showing the colors on the top here, which I'm going to take that as a sign because that's really interesting that it's doing that, because when I put the card down here, you can see the colors. But when I'm trying to show, it did it again. There's like this black and white, this gray area in terms of your relationships with this collective. You guys are struggling with your relationships, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to society, your relationship to your intuition, your relationship to other people. The machine is reminding me of society, of the work that we do. Okay. Not everyone has the privilege of being able to do their dream job always for the entirety of their life. Most of us, including myself, at some point has worked in a mainstream job of some sort, where we were working for the big man, so to speak. Okay. This is really talking about that disconnect feeling called to your soul, reconnecting to your soul. Okay, we've got separation in the machine, and I don't know if you can tell in the camcorder because it's mucking up the colorings. But both of these at the bottom are black and like white photos. They don't have any color in them compared to their counterparts at the top, right? There's no life in them, right? When you work in the machine, when you're part of the societal everything, and that's not where you're feeling called to be, then you're going to be living this black and white. It's not going to be fulfilling your soul. When your soul is fulfilled, that's when you get all of these beautiful colors, right? Some of you are holding a lot of grudges, right? Chamber of forgiveness here. There's a message here of being mindful that this collective doesn't fall into the path of resentment. Okay. Doesn't fall into the path of resenting themselves, resenting family members, resenting other people, right? We're here for a journey. We're here to experience life in this human form as a soul. Some of you may agree with this, some of you might not. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, right? But that's roughly why we're here. There's a massive message here of making sure that you don't resent or regret. You can have, you can look back and say, I wish I didn't do that. Or I wish I didn't have that job. Or I wish I didn't stay there. And that's fine. I think where the danger comes in and where people need to be careful is that you need to make sure that you're not living in the past. You're not looking in the past and saying to yourself, oh, I should have done this. I should have made this decision. I should have gone here. I should have done this other thing. Okay, that's not what we're trying to get through here, right? This is more of looking in the past, reflecting on it, and then making a decision in the future to do differently. Okay. The chamber of forgiveness is not always forgiveness to other people, okay? It's not always about forgiveness with other people. Sometimes it's about learning to forgive yourself. It's about learning to not be in a state of resentment yourself. It's about learning not to be in a state of anger yourself, right? And a large part of that for this collective is coming through with the Masks We Wear card. This card comes through when we're spending too much time with the mask. Hold on. With this collective, I'm hearing that the frustration and anger, and for some of you, resentment that you hold, is more of the feeling that you had to put on this facade of your life and who you are as a person for so long. And some of you might still be doing this. I'm hearing that some of you might still actually be doing this, but you're trying to figure out how to break free from this. You're trying to figure out what to do to get over it, to get rid of it, okay? There's definitely a huge message here of making sure that, look at, okay, let me just, they're giving me so much. Let me just sidetrack for a second. You need to understand something. This collective needs to understand something here. People will leave you once the mask is removed. That is inevitable because people fall in love with the mask, but they don't genuinely know you and they don't genuinely like you as a person. And that's a really harsh reality for some of you to grasp and understand. That doesn't mean you should leave the mask on because you're scared that you're going to lose people. It means that you need to trust God, that he's going to bring, or the universe, whatever term you want to use, that God's going to bring in the people that are meant to be brought in when you need them, who genuinely are there to support you, who genuinely are there to see you for who you are. That's what that means. It doesn't mean you should keep the mask on because you're scared of losing these relationships that you've built over 1 or 2 decades, some of you potentially 3 decades, and now you don't know your identity without these people. There's a huge message of transformation here, and that's partially why you've probably had this separation as well. This feeling of like not wanting to be around people. For some of you, it's been you've chosen not to be around other people, and for some of you, you've felt like you've just been disconnected. You're not there. You're not present with people, and it has to do with these masks that need to come down. It has to do with these masks that aren't there and are not serving you. They're just not serving you any longer. They're not there for you any longer. They're not there to help you anymore. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve here. We've got the alkalite. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm going to try to edit out as many of these coughs as I possibly can. My apologies. We've got the alkalite here. This is all about learning new things, doing new things, embarking on new adventures, but it's also about changing mindset. Okay. I want to point out, I'm going to see if I can get the camera to focus. There's this eyelash here and it's closed, right? Because during the learning process, we're learning to open our eyes, open ourselves up to a new perspective, to new ideas, to new things that we haven't previously looked at. This collective, you're really working on figuring out who you are. Like, who are you? Who are you? Not what roles do you play. Who are you? Okay. If you weren't the girlfriend, you weren't the boyfriend, you weren't the wife or the husband or the mother or the father or the daughter, who would you be? What would you want to do? This collective needs to do a lot of journaling. I'm not going to say this collective needs to do shadow work because I'm not sure necessarily that it's shadow work you need to do. I think though a lot of like reflective journaling would be really beneficial for this collective. Journaling regarding like your goals, what you think you are, who you think you are, where you think you want to go, what steps can you take to get there? Okay, is another one. What is it that you're really legitimately passionate about? Are you passionate about what you're doing, or are you